Okay, good evening everyone to our Hindumitra Satsang. Today is a joint presentation by me and Meghashyam Das Prabhu. We both have been to Vrindavan and Govardhan, and this is more like an excellent. In fact, I've invited myself when Meghashyamji was actually on his way anyway. So essentially, my journey to Vrindavan, if we want to kind of put it on the map, is all the way from south of India, Vishakhapatnam. Of course, I didn't take the road. So it was to the Delhi airport to begin with. And from there, it was a 3 hour, 3.5 hours, I think, taxi drive to Govardhan, where I met Meghashyamji, and then he flew all the way from Dunfermline to Govardhan. Now, obviously, it's important that we share how we met. So, I was working in Dunfermline, and then one fine day, as divine destiny, takes us to, I took a cab, which Meghashyamji was driving, and it was a short distance. I didn't need to take that cab that day, but because I had some luggage and I was jet lagged as well, I took it. If it was in India for that distance, the cab driver would say, "Sorry, find your own way. I'm not going to take you there." But Meghashyamji was kind enough to take me. But interestingly, we had a conversation during that very short period of only a few minutes, and then we thereafter kept in touch. Wherever I would go, if I took a cab to the airport, he would be my pal, and so that was Gopal. Anybody who wants to guess how the name Gopals came?
With ISKCON,
Yeah, but what is it?
Meghashyam Das
I know, but what is Gopals?
Gopals.
Yeah.
No idea. You
Does,
have a new coin
does,
there.
does anything strike with if you see Gopals?
Govardhana.
No. Even initially, I didn't pay attention, but only after a while. It's Gopal.
Gopal. Okay, Gopal. Okay.
Yeah, so that's a very nice way. So essentially, Meghashyamji has been an ardent devotee of Krishna, and he often has, I mean, he's been to India several times, and this trip was just one of them. Okay, so that's how we met, and then yes, in fact, I went to one of the ISKCON satsangs as well in Dunfermline. I could have gone a few more times, but then I wasn't there for that long. So yeah, so getting down in Delhi, then meeting Meghashyamji in Govardhan. It was basically a busy few days. I was there only for I think 4 or 5 days, whereas he was there for almost like 3 weeks or more than that. So this is Govardhan, and Rad. This is where we stayed. I don't have the photo of the 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 place, the accommodation. I forgot even the name. Do you remember the name, Meghashyamji? What's it called?
The small accommodation we stayed in was Raga Leela Dam.
Radha Leela Dam. Something we would recommend to anybody who wishes to go there. It's quite affordable, very cheap actually, and they offer meals. They offer delicious North Indian food as well. So it's a perfect place to just stay. And if you're satisfied with with is missing, of course, hospitality, please tell others. If not, then tell us, was what was written on the wall. I thought I liked their attitude in that sense. They're open to feedback, which is fantastic. So, so the first thing we want to cover is the Govardhan Parikram. Now you can see the hill there, and that is the Govardhan Giri. So essentially we would walk around this hill, and it's about 21 kilometers. Some people some manage to do it all just in one go, but I think Meghashyamji was kind enough to split it into two parts for me, so we did it in two sections. I actually met one person in our accommodation. Every year he actually comes for about a week or 10 days, and then all does is every day he goes out for a parikram. And that's the level of devotion that we actually see from a lot of people. And in fact, the other thing is everybody walks barefooted, and I was just the odd one. Gradually I understood maybe I could do it, but being a doctor, one of the problems being a doctor is always this suspicion of hygiene and pricks and injuries and so on. So that doesn't go away. A doctor tends to be a little obsessed with that. But anyway, so Meghashyamji, would you like to say something about the importance of Govardhan Parikram?
Govardhan Parikrama. I first done that around about 2001, and I did do it in a one journey barefoot the very first time, and it was very difficult by the time we got to the end of it. But I find there's many thousands of people do that parikram, and they come from all over India. Occasionally you'll get the odd person like myself from the West coming over as well, but I'd say 99.9% are all from India, coming from busloads. So obviously you'll get some kind of boon for doing that, especially if you're doing it as on your bare feet. There's some people, the last few times I've done it with shoes on, but some people criticise you for that, And I think we did come across one person, didn't we?
Yeah.
It was one of the locals pointing at our feet. I couldn't understand the language, but I remember you saying later, meant to be doing it in your bare feet. So that's an austerity. That's an austerity. That's perhaps worth doing. I think next time I'll take my shoes in my bag and start off barefoot, and if it gets too extreme, then I'll maybe put my shoes on then.
Yeah. Actually, it's not a difficult terrain as such, is it? I mean,
most of it's okay. If you're in the dust area, it's actually quite pleasurable walking along the dust. As long as you keep
the roads, which possibly are a little challenging.
I found tarmac roads get very hot, and they seem to turn your feet into sort of soft plasticine. Especially for my feet, because I never walk on bare soil unless it's over there, but that's not enough.
Absolutely. So what we'll do is we'll start with Kusum Sarovar. Perhaps you could just explain to us the significance of Kusum Sarovar, especially the picture of Radha looking into the mirror.
Yeah. So in Kusum Sarovar is a lot of people call it the heart of Govardhan. Because some areas are known as the head and the feet, but this area is known as the heart of Govardhan. There's a specific pastime which happens there. Lord Krishna, he was pretending that he was just, somebody, a gatekeeper, and saying, "Why are you stealing my flowers?" This is to Radharani and the gopis. So what eventually happened is Krishna puts the flower and braids into Srimati Radharani's hair, and at that time Radharani, in that picture you'll notice that Radharani is not looking at herself. She's got the mirror tilted, so she's looking into Krishna at that time. So it's a very famous pastime in that area. So that's known as Kusum Sarovara or Kusum Van. That's the area that I tend to visit most times that I go to India. Because the first time I went, that was the first place, or one of the first places I went. And also, I do know one or two of the devotees who help run the Radha Bani Bihari Mandir, which is the temple next to Kusum Sarovara. So, yeah, that's definitely a must-go place if you do Govardhan Parigram.
Absolutely. Apart from the beauty itself, what's important is to soak into the spiritual essence, isn't it?
Yes.
When this actually is narrated to us, it is like Radha is seeing her beloved Krishna in the mirror rather than herself, and that's really very significant. It's almost like we being in pursuit of the divine himself, and it is in her case Krishna is everything for her, and so is for all his devotees. Krishna is everything for the devotees. And then the little temple that it was, interestingly, it was actually managed by a lady who's turned quite old now, isn't it? And
Yes.
he handed it over to one of your buddies. I think you knew them right before, and they've been managing it for many years now. Is that right?
Yes. I think ultimately there's been some paperwork signed, and there's an ISKCON temple, Chalpati, and I think they are going to take over that when the lady, she's in her late 80s now, and her husband, we know him friendly as Peterji. So he was actually a young lad. He was 14-year-old at the time. So this is going back probably about 100 years ago. And he was approached by the king of the area, who says he wanted him to be Pujari of Kusum Sarovara. So he was the Pujari there for 70 odd years as a young lad, right up until his late 80s when he passed away. So at that time, that's when my god brothers and sisters kind of took over looking after things. And Mataji, who's still there now, that she is the husband of Peterji, who passed away. So it's good to see some of these pastimes are still there.
Yeah,
from
and,
last
and their hospitality is fantastic. We were really fed so well in those few days. It was a delicious kind of lunch every time I had with them. So
Yeah.
well taken care of. Yeah. Okay, right. So we'll move on. So these are a few more pictures of Kusum Sarovar, and yeah, Sri Radha Banbihari Ji temple, that is, and yeah, some more pictures over there. Quite good architecture actually. So beautiful. Little bit of water body there as well. Interestingly, by the time when we went, there was some short film shooting happening, so you can see Krishna on the tree here. So that's not the real Krishna, of course, but we had some, yes, there were some people there with Gopikas and Krishna. So I think this is a video. I'll just show the video. Just give me a minute. Okay, so that's a little clipping of the place. So from there, in the same place, actually in Kusum Sarovar, a little behind it was a significant place, I must say, from our Srimad Bhagavatam point of view. It is supposed to be Uddhavji's mandir. And in this picture here, you can actually see, I can't remember now very well, but there should be some significance in terms of Uddhava. But anyway, so we met a person who actually has been a caretaker. He had masters in, if I remember, whether it was either Sanskrit or one of those, and he was very welcoming, and he showed us around that particular temple, and he spoke. Here it is obviously written, Mandir Shri Uddhav Ji ki Betak, I think, Kusum Sarovar. And there it is written about how after Krishna, goes away, then Uddhava gets the essence, essence of the knowledge of Bhagavatam, and this is supposed to be the temple in his memory. So this is a little video again. I'll just show.
ये देखिए now all advanced I start some work. This work and this is a small wooden coating. This is
Just basically interesting to see the architecture. Nothing more here. I mean, it's a tiny little house and the colors are good.
Okay, this is the theory. And
So yeah, nothing much else to show here. So that is
Sorry?
what,
So Uddhava is the devotee of Krishna, and
yeah.
in fact, he looks like Krishna also, it seems.
That's
And
true.
the color, and Uddhava is supposed to be wearing even the Uchishta Vastra of Krishna. And when he comes, Krishna sends Uddhava to Nandagaon. So the gopis mistake him to be Krishna, and they're very happy. When they come and see, it is rather Uddhava who has come with a message.
Yes.
So
Yes,
the black Vigraham is similar to Krishna, but he is Uddhava.
Okay.
I wanted to share.
Yeah, there's something else. If I think that particular man actually shared this, must be from Bhagavatam. Again, we didn't come to that phase yet. So he is sent by Krishna to the Gopikas
to pacify them, saying, "I'll come. We will have the Ras Lila."
Yes, yeah, and I think he goes to each one of them. He gets disillusioned or whatever.
He realizes how much of bhakti and sharanagati the Gopikas have, and their divine love for Krishna.
Sure.
And gives a message that Krishna has not forgotten all of you. He is in Mathura, and he will come back on a Sharad Purnima night. And that's what happened 3 days back, is a Sharad Purnima night.
Okay.
This month, Sharad Purnima.
All right. Thank you for that anecdote.
Thank you.
So then there is Narada Kund. As you, it was a pleasant surprise for me. We were talking about Narada today as well in our Bhagavatam session. So I had taken his kind of blessings naturally, and there's a beautiful sarovar there as well. Just behind the little temple that it is. So anything about Narad Kund, Meghasyamji? I think it's one of my favorite places, if I remember.
Yeah, it's a very nice place to go and sunrise. Very, very calm, beautiful place. So I was just reading a little in the book about Narada Kund. It's just down the road from Radhabani Vihara Mandir. Narada Kund's in a small forest called Narada Vana. One day Narada Muni became so glorified. Krishna was nicely and sweetly at Govardhan. Krishna told him, "O Narada, why don't you stay here and do your bhajan?" he was very pleased with Narada's prayers. Narada replied, "But Prabhu, I'm cursed that I can't stay in any place for more than a few minutes." And Krishna said, "Hare Narada, that curse is only valid in the material world. This Vraj or Braj is not part of the material world, and that curse has no effect here. So you should think that Braj Dam doesn't, it belongs to any particular country or place in the material world." So Narada ended up staying there and wrote many books like Narada Bhakti Sutra. So that was a little thing that I just read this morning. So I thought I'd read that back.
Wonderful. Would you like to share that book cover in the
book cover?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Braja Leela, Giriraj, the mountain of the king of mountains. So yeah, I'll take a picture and I'll send that to you. I'll forward that.
Fantastic. Yeah. So then we basically the parikrama goes on, and some more nice views. The tiny little houses, tiny little shops, highly decorated, a lot very colorful, and the roads are tiny little roads. Only mostly two-wheelers can go, and in the morning there is always the chanting or the sounds of the musical instruments heard. Every little almost like a house temple, or or even a let's call it a house temple where people reside, but they actually do these kind of kirtans. It's such a nice kind of an atmosphere. So that is Vegashyamji deep in his meditation in Narad Kund. Okay. And then we went, I don't have all the pictures, so it may be a little bit here and there. This Meghashyamji was, if you remember, in the evening when we were returning back, and I asked these elderly men if I could take a picture, and they said pictures are prohibited. And in fact, they gave a very nice advice. What do you do with pictures? Stay in the moment and rejoice in the divine kind of spirit, which definitely was well taken. But what I said was, I entirely agree with you, but the only thing is nowadays the younger generation needs to really know how passionate you are, and you all look so divinely pious. So if you don't mind, I'll take a picture. And they allowed me to take this picture. So it is more for the younger generation to hopefully kind of understand the importance of spirituality in their lives. This is just one of the beautiful videos I have with me. It will stay in my memory forever. There are two videos there, and just listen to the kirtan. Are you able to hear the audio of the videos? Earlier I played. Anyway, let me see. If you can't hear it, just let me know. Okay, so that's one of them. Hear it. You can hear it, but I can't see it. Okay, so we can't see the image. Never mind, we can go for that. So there is this Panchamukha Hanuman, which was beautiful. It was actually sunset time, and this is where I was given a lecture on how we should go barefooted by an elderly man, which I humbly accepted, but I also ignored because um, it's matter of evaluation for me as well, and I can't throw away my footwear at that time, so naturally I just carried on. But it's a beautiful kind of little vigraha of Panchamukha Hanuman, and that's Meghasyamji with his Sashtanga Danda Pranam, which is the place where a lot of people actually do that. Anything you would like to share, Meghasyamji? Why the significance at this particular place?
I don't know the exact reason why, but most people start at that area, the Govardhan Parikram. I don't know the significance of why. I do know across from there, if you remember, there's a temple, there's a big Giriraj comes out, and they do a lot of worship in the Giriraj form of Krishna there in Govardhan. That's in Govardhan village.
Okay, right, that's great. And with the picture on the right, if somebody can read it, essentially it's written there that please don't come near me and don't touch me, not because of any other reason, but he had a renal transplant and obviously immunocompromised, and so therefore he's wearing a mask, and for making sure that he doesn't get any infections. But he's basically sitting there and is continuously singing bhajans. And I did take a video of, for some reason I couldn't find the video, but yeah, just something to share that such is the dedication of the devotees, that despite his ill health, he spends some time, looks like every evening, and sings bhajans. This is a short video of the little hill, one small section of it.
Of Govardhan Hill?
Yes, this is the Govardhan Hill actually.
No.
Maybe not the best part of the parikrama that I should be showing, but at the end of the day, that's the only video I have with me. So you can see the path, and people are just walking along the path quietly. Okay. All right. So we finished the parikram. We have photos and videos. There are quite a lot more to cover, but given the time that we have, I think we need to move on to other things too. So this is a place called Barsana, at about an hour from Govardhan, which we took a cab to go there. By the time we went, it was actually kind of interval time, and a huge crowd gathered before we were let in. So therefore, we had to wait for quite a long while. But again, a beautiful temple. Let me just see if I can show the videos.
Which timing is it that when you're not allowed?
Sorry, say that again.
What time was it when you were not allowed?
I'm not too sure about the time, but it was in the afternoon. Yeah.
After. Oh, so we should avoid going that time.
So this is okay. So short videos there. and that is forgot his name, Meghashyamji.
Oh, who's with me? Sean.
Sean, yeah, right. I thought it was Sean. Yeah. So Sean also joined Meghashyamji during this trip, and so we all three of us went temple. This is a nice little experience. Look at there are these kids who actually paint your foreheads, and so we all three of us had it done. So that's something interesting. Yeah, and that's another photo there. And anything you would like to share about Barsana, the temple?
I believe that that's where Radharani stays as Varsana. Is that right? From past times, 5,000 years ago,
Okay.
she stayed there.
Okay. All right. So it's also called Ladli Mandir, I think. So there's very nice kind of a little these vigrahas of what metal is it? I can't. Copper is it, or brass? Maybe copper, I would think. So that was Barsana there. Then we went to another temple in the evening. This is where what's the temple called again? That was on the hill. It was almost like that we went.
Yeah, I remember, but can't remember its name.
Yeah. So it was a sweet and sour experience. What happened was that by the time we went up to the temple, this is the downside of some of the temples where the priests were not really kind of in the best of their ethical spirits, and unfortunately it was exploitative in that sense. They were only after money.
Yeah.
And it left a bad taste by the time we were starting to leave the place. And it so happened that just next to the temple is a little gathering, almost like it's a division between those pious devotees who decided that this is not a place where they can actually get peace of mind. So they just a little away from there, they gathered there and did a beautiful satsang. And while we were walking away, one of these priests, a young man actually came and started talking about wanting to do this and that for my appeasement, whatever you would call it, atonement and whatever. And all I said was, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I didn't say anything else. And when I said that, there was another man who came from the pious group, and then he said to him in a very kind of confident manner, look, that is exactly what you should be saying. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. That is the mantra. That is the most important mantra. In a way, chiding this priest, basically saying you're only after money. You shouldn't be. You should actually be more spiritually inclined. So we left that place, and thankfully, a little down the lane, we had a beautiful experience. So you can actually see a very old man, highly sincere, and he is actually kind of playing the conch or whatever you call it. That's not a conch, but something I don't know, dole or whatever. And that's the photo on the left where the pujari, highly sincere again, extremely devoted. He's not worried about anything, and he was happily kind of doing the arati to Krishna and the various devatas there. And we had, I must say that I really kind of enjoyed being there for a little few minutes at least, and it was almost a contrast to what we experienced earlier to what it was later on. So that is all somewhere near Barsana. And then another day where we went to Vrindavan. So Vrindavan, this is actually the magnificent ISKCON temple. On the left, you can actually see the various translations of Bhagavad Gita in various languages, including Afrikaans, Armenian, Burmese, Hebrew, then of course the various Indian languages, Indonesian, Urdu, Arabic, Kazakh, Slovak. So it's good to see the extra effort that ISKCON is actually taking in translating into various languages and Farsi as well. So that's a beautiful temple one must visit in Vrindavan. And at the end of that day, there was actually some musical festival going on. Beautiful Odissi dance by a couple of devotees there. Okay, so and a lot of activities take place over there. I've actually also seen few youngsters bhajan sankirtan as well for quite a while. Now the rest of Vrindavan is something you cannot miss. There's lots of tiny little temples. So we had the help of a guide who's known to Meghashyamji, and he helped us take us to various tiny little temples. Now the best part, I have understood a lot of history about Vrindavan. So when after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's bhakti movement, some of the disciples in various generations have come over to this land because it was understood that there isn't any temple there which is actually the most sacred place. And so one generation after the other, they have come over and they've established various different temples. And still there's a lot of Bengali kind of tradition there. And in fact, you can see the boards written in Bengali along with Oriya as well over there. So that's one of the things. There were the nice little. There's something in every corner actually. Lot of sadhus, So maybe just a little bit of the names of the temples, Meghashyamji, and in Vrindavan that we have been to, the tiny little ones.
Yeah, I can't remember all the names of the temples. I did think this last night. I should have done my homework and wrote them all down. I do remember one temple we went to visit, and the top section had been taken off. Can you remember that one?
Yeah.
Because yeah. So there's a time. I can't
So
remember how long.
yeah, so that's the temple which hopefully we do have the picture which will
You've
come.
got a picture there. Right,
Yeah. So before we reach that temple, there was an interesting kind of an experience. You can see on the left hand side there is a very simple man standing with a stick, and I was the one actually who was keen to enter into this place because
Yes.
there was no rush, nobody was there, and I didn't even know that this man was there either. But after we entered, we just kind of I just spoke to him, and then he gave us so much knowledge in half an hour that I didn't want to move. I was completely engrossed in what he was saying, highly knowledgeable in Sanskrit and Bengali, and Chaitanya Maha Prasadam, I think the book is called Mahamritam, Chaitanya Mahamritam. So he was very well versed in that, then in Bhagavatam. And the most important thing is he was a jnani. He was not just a textbookish kind of person. He was a jnani. Because one of the questions the guide who came with us asked was, as per our tradition, isn't it true that only the true Vaishnavas would go to Goloka? Then in that case, those who do not actually follow this path may not have very, they don't have access to Goloka and so on. And he gave excellent answer for that as well. And he said, look, this is how we understand the absolute truth. It doesn't mean that they don't have their own understanding. So they're allowed to have their own understanding just as we have understood the absolute truth. So it was an excellent kind of I recorded it actually. It is there in the YouTube, but the audio quality is not great. I do listen to it in between, but yeah, so that was a fantastic experience. I must share with you all. There are other interesting things, like for instance, some of these temples are being uncovered, and this is one huge temple as well, just on a hillock on the left hand side. On the right hand side, Srila Prabhupadaji's room he actually stayed in this particular room in this different temple, and so therefore in his memory they have put in his kind of sculpture, and people can just sit there and have some meditative time. Then we went to a museum, and that museum I would think is one of those very forthcoming Hindu museums. I haven't seen such a Hindu museum anywhere else, but this is very much knowledgeable. There's a lot of knowledgeable stuff over there, and I have taken quite a few pictures. Maybe I'll share them later in the group as well. Some of the things, like for instance, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, and Karma. So those kind of definitions. Then the Vedic knowledge, how it has been transmitted, then cosmology, and so on and so forth. Oh yeah, I do have the picture. So the picture on the left is the one I mentioned about how a group of pious devotees decided to just have their own space of bhakti, while the other group of while there was those temple priests who were unfortunately having different ideas. So this is our guide on the right hand side. Some more pictures of the various temples. At that time, I remember the names. Maybe I should have also made note of them. Unfortunately, I didn't. Nice architecture there. You can actually see the, oh, sorry. There is this Ganesha carving of Ganesha, and then some decoration on either side of the door. It is unfortunate that a lot of these structures are decaying, particularly in Govardhan. And if only the government and I would say all the kind of devotees come together and save these places, otherwise beautiful architecture will go away. Now this is the temple in Vrindavan. Again, we don't know much of it. The history goes that it was actually a 7-storied temple, and the gopuram, the light on the gopuram would shine several kilometers, I won't say hundreds of kilometers, but maybe I don't know how far over Delhi was. So maybe in those days the sky was clear, there was nothing in between, and the light would be actually seen at night. And I believe it was Aurangzeb who couldn't really tolerate the presence of maybe this temple, and he sent his army or soldiers, and they basically spent several months destroying the temple, the upper part of it. So only the 3 stories are left. Even those 3 stories are magnificent. But what happened was that the deity had been moved to Rajasthan, where it is still there, I believe. And that is the beauty of the resilience of our ancestors, particularly the Brahmanas who were taking care of the temple. So they actually moved the deity to Rajasthan, and so that's how they saved it.
It says Govind Dev Ji Temple. Similar picture I could locate in Google.
Right, yeah. So then, you have a lot of people sitting on the sides, reading their Bhagavatam, just immersed in it. They're not worried about anybody else. So that's one of those pictures there. Then we go to Yamuna, and we had a Yamuna Arati as well. This is the Arati. It was a beautiful experience again. The bank of Yamuna had beautiful kind of fort-like structure there. It is still very well maintained, I must say, but I don't know whether it is in use or not, but it's a beautiful structure. And so that is where we end our journey with you all. We said cheers to Sri Krishna with our tiny little kulfi, is it? I forgot what it is called. I think it must have been lassi. Yeah. Okay. So, right. So, any questions anybody wishes to ask us? Not that we can remember very well some of the details, but in hindsight.
Yeah, I actually went to Vrindavan in February 2023.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I went to Mathura That was quite an experience because when you go, there's this large compound and the security there is like I said to the guy, look, it's easier for me to get into India than it is to get into this place. And he didn't like that.
In Vrindavan or Mathura?
In Mathura.
Oh, in Mathura, because we didn't go to Mathura, or I didn't go to Mathura, yeah.
Yeah, they went through every piece of paper and I was like, anyway, and I saw Krishna's birthplace, the little room where he was born. And that was really nice.
Yeah.
The only problem was there were like so many people. And I just wanted to stand there and they were like, keep going, keep going. I was like, okay. And I wasn't very good about the parikram going around. I actually went around in a rickshaw, but it was really hot, and I have to be a bit careful because I can get really sick. So I was a bit of a cheater, but it was nice anyway. And there's one temple apparently, or one place where Krishna comes with his gopis, and they lock it up like after 5 or 6 o'clock, and nobody's allowed to go there. And there's a story that a British guy decided to be smart, and he got himself locked in there to see what happens. And the next day they found him dead. And nobody is actually, and there's 2 stories. One is that the Indian people were so upset with him, what he did, with no disrespect, that they killed him. And another story is that whoever tries to go there, they're not going to come out because of the divine sort of influence, that you just don't do that. So I don't know.
Well,
but it was really nice. And I stayed in the Ishkon guest house, the big one there. Yeah.
that's good. Yeah. So, anybody
And I
else?
was wondering, did you ever go to the battle of Kurukshetra, where that battle took place?
Kurukshetra is in Haryana, so I
It's
haven't.
a long way. Yeah, is it worth it to go there? Because, like, if you go to where they fought the Battle of Hastings, it's like a field. And you think, well, what am I looking at? But
I haven't been there, so my honest answer is I don't know. But your itinerary is already kind of prepared, unless.
no, not this time around. But
Yeah. Maybe you can ask your guide. I forgot Om Prakash.
Omji, yeah, Om
Yes, Om
Prakash.
Prakash. You can actually ask him what he has to say, but I honestly don't know.
No, Om Prakash is thinking of getting himself a place in Vrindavan, a little cottage or something, so he can be close to the Kund and all that.
I think it's a beautiful place to be if you can get hold of a place. It's definitely a good retirement and a spiritual kind of retreat for somebody who is interested. Okay, all right. Who else has anything to share?
How many days would you recommend staying there to see the whole thing?
Meghasyamji, question is
Yes.
for you.
What was the question, sorry?
How many days would you recommend to stay and see the place?
Yeah, you're wanting to be there, I'd say maybe over a week. I'd say maybe 10 days. Yeah, a week to 10 days. Because there's so many places around Vrindavan on the outskirts. You've got Govardhan, so you can spend a day or 2 there. Then you could go to Vrindavan and then Mathura. There's so many different places, so many pastimes around. So I've not been to them all. And unfortunately, I hadn't been to India for 15 years. And then all of a sudden, one of my friends said, I'm going to Nepal, then India. Do you want to come? So I thought to myself, why not? All I'm doing is working 7 days a week back here. So then I was up in the Himalayas and I thought to myself, what am I doing back at home working 7 days a week? And that's when I decided, okay, I'm going to start coming here twice a year. And the best times, obviously, is around about this time. So it's not too hot, and the same as springtime. It's also Kartik, month of Kartik, just now
Kartika
as well. So, yeah, so it's a good time to go. So yeah, I'd say maybe if you want to go to Vrindavan, say at least a week. I'd say.
Yeah.
Then we find so many pastimes of Krishna in Bhagavatam
Yeah.
in Vrindavan. Are
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
any temples, and for example, Ulukala Bandhanam or many such things are there? Are there temples specific to all these pastimes?
Yeah, there's. I know the one at Kusum Sarovar is major pastime there. There's so many different places. It just becomes like a mishmash in my head that I can't remember them all. There's so many.
In fact,
But,
that reminds me, Meghashyamji, this temple, this man, he told us a pastime, didn't
Oh
he?
yeah,
That
was that the pastime at
Radharani,
Bangle? The
yeah,
bracelet,
absolutely. She
anklet,
lost her
anklet.
bangle.
Yes, that was an anklet.
Yeah,
It was
it was anklet.
Radharani's anklet. She was. She had lost the anklet, and there was one devotee, I can't remember his name, but he was actually a wealthy person, but every day he would sweep and sweep and sweep, doing menial humble service. And I think Srimati Radharani must have been very pleased. So what happened is one day he found this anklet, and he thought, oh, there's an anklet. So he kept a hold of it, and then this other lady came, who was Radharani's one of her maidservants, and said, this anklet, did you find it? It belongs to my my master, whatever Radharani was to her. And he says, yes, I have found it, but I want her to come directly and ask. I won't give it to you. I'll only give it to her. So anyways, Radharani came and gave him the anklet. Gave her the anklet, but she also put a tilak mark on his forehead at that point and gave him a name as well. Now, what was his name? I'll have to remember that. His name. So from then on, I'll find that out and I'll let you know. But from then onwards, he was known as this new name, and he worshipped Radharani from then onwards. But that's the thing is, in the West, we always see God as male, but it's not 100% God as male. In Vrindavan, they don't say Hare Krishna; they say Radhe Radhe, Radhe Radhe to everybody. Yeah. So it's a step in the right direction, closer to meaningful what God actually is, Yeah.
So yeah, pastimes, and particularly in Vrindavan, what I found was the temples have been established by all these disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and every temple has its own little kind of uniqueness.
Like lace, I think.
Well, one temple I could not record, but one saint, he came all the way from Bengal, looks like, and he was just singing some Bengali bhajan. It was so beautiful. So I think Vrindavan is one of those places where maybe each day you would want to spend one day in one temple at a time. There's so much you can do actually. Okay. So,
Can I ask I want to ask something. Maybe it's a little bit off the topic, but I just actually read the Ramayana,
Okay.
the Ram and Sita story,
Okay.
and I didn't find it such a lovely story. A lot of it is battles and battles and battles and more rakshasas and people getting their heads chopped off. And in the end, poor Sita comes to such a sad end. And I thought it was all a bit sad.
Karanji, who was the book written by?
No, it's called the Ramayana for young readers.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I tend to read the more simple stuff because it's a bit easier.
Yeah.
And apparently it's a translation.
Sure.
And-
Okay. Yeah. As I said to you, if you didn't like it, you can leave it aside. Okay.
No, you told me not to read all these books, which maybe you're right, but I thought at least when I'm going, I should know what I'm going to.
You have a free will, you have a choice. You can read whatever books you would want, but if you don't like it, you can leave it aside. Okay.
No, because people always they're saying Jai Shri Ram, and I'm like, yeah, well, I don't
Well,
actually
you can
think
you,
it's
you
such
are
a
a
nice
devotee
song.
of Shiva, you can say Om Namah Shivaya.
Yeah, it sounds better, yeah.
Some say Radhe Radhe, some say Hare Krishna, some say Jai Shri Ram, some say Ma Durga, Jai Ma Durga, and you may be happy to say Om Namah Shivaya. That's perfectly fine. Okay. All right, so we'll draw it to a close. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. And Meghamji, thank you for taking time. I know it was a busy day today. And enjoy your trip as well to India.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'll keep in contact with you.
All right. Okay. Namaste. All.
Okay.
All right.
Namaste.
Okay.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ओम शांति शांति शांति. Okay, all those going to India, have a nice trip. Okay, thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.